So yes, we can book for more than just gamblers. We have people that bring their kids all the time. Normally the cruise line, actually not normally, like the cruise line won't comp the minors, okay? So that's one part of this answer. If it's a single adult with a child, then they would comp the adult's fare, but they would not comp the child. If it's two adults and one child, they would comp the two adults and the minor would have to pay. So we absolutely can book minors, it's just the casino won't comp them, okay? Now related to that, with comping, or with going from like a two-person comp, like you get an email offer from URComped that says, hey, we got a July 21st sailing, comp for two, and then somebody will want to book 4 people, and then all of a sudden the price is way more than they expect. And so we get questions like, all right, well, if it's comp for 2, why does it cost $3,000 or something for a comp for 4? So I want to explain that really quick, because I think it'll shed some light on that for a lot of people. Because let's say for a double occupancy cabin, $800 per person for 2 adults. So the comp amount would be how much? Anybody want to do some math? Quick math? 800 times 2. All right, I'll do it for you. I'm sure in the comments they're getting on it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so $1,600. So for this comp that we are promoting, we're saying, all right, there's two adults in the cabin, we can comp you, and then the casino has kind of pre-agreed to comp $1,600, okay? So that's how we, that's how we went ahead and pushed that offer out, okay? But then what will happen is somebody sees the comp offer for 2, and they're like, hey, I wanna bring my 2 kids, how much is it gonna be? And I totally get the thought process, because I would think the same thing. So the way they may think of it, it's like, okay, it must be $800 for 2 adults, and then for the kids, they're probably less expensive, so maybe that is $400. So that'd be the $1,600, which would be comped, and then I would just have to pay the $800 for the taxes and fees. So a lot of people would go in expecting it to just be $800. But the thing is, with quad cabins, or even sometimes 3-person cabins, is there's not many of these on the ship in different cabin categories. So on certain sailings, there may be a ton of double occupancy cabins, so we can issue a comp for that and it works great. But what happens with a quad, because they're in a lot more demand, especially in like summer or when school is out over the holidays, instead of it being $800 for the 2 adults, maybe that jumps up to $1,400. Even though it's still a balcony cabin or still an inside cabin, the price for the first 2 adults has jumped up. The 2 kids, and maybe $500, maybe what you thought originally, but the adult price, because this is a quad cabin, there's not many of them, it's a high demand, the whole thing went up. So $1,600 wouldn't even cover the 2 adults in the quad cabin, let alone the kids. So the price would be way more than just 2 times the kids. Okay, I hope that makes sense with like why sometimes if you're adding family members, it's more than you would think, because if I'm booking a tour on an excursion, normally it's adults are $80 a person, the kids are 40, right? And I think I'm conditioned that way, but this is why sometimes if you're adding extra guests, the price jumps up more than you might think. Okay, any